In the world that we are today, there is a need for decision makers. There is a need for someone to make a difference, to put people towards that path of clarity. And that is where so many people get lost, right? Because in the journey of project management, or in this career of project management, you're going to face a lot of pressure. The decision making is a crucial part of your journey, because emotions are going to come from different directions. In those moments of chaos, how do you react? How do you respond? You have to identify these minor things. So let's get into this episode and see how you can be a good decision maker, so that you won't delay your project, you won't run out of budget, you will know how to analyze your stakeholders and make informed decisions. Decision simply means that taking a direction despite the constraint. And when it comes to project management, these constraints are in so many areas. Then your time, then your scope, then your budget, then your stakeholders, then risk analysis. And in order for you to choose the right decisions, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be the project managers who figure out everything. You need to be a project manager who is decisive, someone that can take a direction. And these decisions usually answer two questions. You start by asking yourself, what is the best option for this, right? And what are the consequences for this action? You need to see the consequences of the action if you take this decision. And the third question that it answers is, what is the best alternative, or the best objective? Does this matches with our objective for the project? Because as a project manager, you definitely have a goal that you're working towards. You definitely have objectives that you want to achieve, the deliverables that you want to give to your stakeholders, your project sponsor. You need to make sure that the decisions that you take have the best options, they have the best objective for the project, and most importantly, they meet the need, right? You see the consequences of your action. And there is one thing that you need to understand, that decision is not emotional. Making decisions are not supposed to be emotional when it comes to project management. Rather, they are supposed to be structured. You need to put one or two things in place before you take your final decision. Don't just get up and say, because a developer came up and say we have to deliver this in 2 days. You have to go back to your scope, right? What did we agree in the scope? If this person comes and changes the scope, we have to go through a system. And that is the reason why I emphasize that as a project manager, you don't just make decisions based on emotions without going through the change control system. Nobody should put you under pressure and you feel like, okay, no, we have to do this one. If someone is changing the scope, right? If someone is changing to the scope of your project, they have to go through the triple constraint, right? The time, they have to check, what does this time matches with what we agreed, right? The budget, if the budget is changing, then we have to look at the time. Do we need more money, or do we need more time to hire other people? That is how decision making works. Walk them through the triple constraint. What did we agree that we are going to work on? Was this in the scope? Was this out of the scope? And you can check the recent video that I created on how to create a project management plan that is going to work for your project. I'll put a link in the description box so that you can check it out. It is going to be very helpful for you, so that the next time you're planning your project, you should understand the necessary preliminaries that you need for your project. Don't make decisions based on your emotions. Don't make decisions based on pressure. Rather, do it based on what? Structure. That is your job as a leader, as a project manager. And it works for business owners, for developers. It doesn't matter wherever you're functioning. The idea is to put structure in place. So I'm going to give you 7 steps that if you follow, you're going to get your projects right. The first thing is you need to define the problem clearly. The decision that you want to take, you need to first of all understand what is the issue that we have at the moment. What are we trying to take a decision on? We are working on a project. This person is putting me pressure. This other person is putting me pressure. What do I do? How do I make the decision? What is the problem that we have. You need to define it clearly. This is our problem. The second thing that you have to do is identify the constraint, right? What is it that is affecting this project? What are the constraints? Is it time constraint? Is it budget constraint? Is it stakeholder constraint? You need to identify it, the things that are hindering that project. Those are your constraints. When it comes to project management, these are the ones that you have to identify, right? Your budget, your stakeholders, the time, the scope. Identify all of these. The third thing that you have to do is come up with multiple options, right? When you have multiple options, you have a better perspective. You can relate with that. When you have option A, option B, you have to choose the best option that matches with the problem that you have. That is going to give you a solution. So you need to define option A, option B, option C. Look at the percentage of what can solve the problem, and then you go in for that decision. That is the third point. The fourth point is make sure that you identify the impact. What is the short-term impact? What is the long-term impact? What is the probability of it happening? You need to figure out all these things, right? Is it going to affect us in a high way, in a low way, or is just a major impact that is going to have on your project, on your business, on your studies? You need to put these things in place. Once you have done that, you move to the next framework, which is the fit framework. Identify if it matches with the project objective. Don't miss this. If you miss this out, then you are already working on something else. Does it matches in the project scope? Does it matches with the project budget? Does it matches with the timeline? Does it matches with the schedule? All of these things are figured out, and that is the beauty of project management. Because once you combine all of these things, right, you combine the Gantt chart, you combine the work breakdown structure, you see all the risk analysis that you have done, and you can make informed decision. So when I look at people who work on project without having a plan, I feel bad, because they are ignorant of certain things that you need to undergo, especially when it comes to bigger projects where you have to analyze the risks. You need to understand these things, understand how the difference is going to be in putting structure, putting clarity. Don't just get up because you have the money, you feel like you can handle it. No, it is not based on emotions. It is not based on some quote that you heard from someone or some sugar stories that people told you. No, it is based on reality. It is based on structure. It is based on clarity. Don't make decisions based on pressure. And the next point is make sure that you communicate the transparency, because when you build trust, people are going to relate more with you. You need to explain to them why you made this decision. What is the expectation? What are the risks, right? You need to make sure that people see from your own perspective. Once they have an understanding of what you're trying to achieve, it will be more easier for you to work with that team. The last point is a bonus for you if you have watched up to this point. It has helped me in so many ways, and I believe that it can help you to become a better version of who you are, and that is reviewing all your decisions and then learning from it. Once you have made a decision, maybe in your first project, and you're getting to your second project, you need to make sure that you learn from it. You see what went wrong, what can I adjust, what can I make sure that I do in a proper way that aligns with my decision making. With this framework, I believe that you understand what decision making looks like. And I'm going to tell you this: as a project manager, decision making represents your reputation. Decision making is your reputation as a project manager. And if you don't understand that, it will be very difficult for you. And this doesn't just apply to managers, it also applies to leaders, to business owners, to creators. The way you make your decision defines your reputation. Because if you don't have standards put in place, if you don't have a value, people are not going to trust you. People are not going to relate with you. So you need to make sure that your decisions create alignment, they create clarity, they put structures in place. If anything I've shared with you today resonated, if it sparked a thought, a question, or even just a feeling, then I need you to do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. My promise to you, alongside with my team, is to consistently bring you real, honest, and valuable content that helps you figure out project management, leadership, one conversation at a time. And if you hit that like button, this shows that we are doing something great and it makes a difference, and that is going to go a very long way, and we deeply appreciate you for that.